But in the deep learning, all the feature extraction part and classification are done. All these steps are joined together. So there is no need to extract the features in the deep learning part. Okay, so that is a very basic idea about difference between machine learning and deep learning. Okay, now moving forward, first I want to clear some concept about what is structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. Okay. Now, in the unstructured data, no format is defined. Take an example, like 1,000 movies are stored in a folder. Okay, or 10,000 documents are stored in a folder. 500 images are stored in a folder. So when we are just dumping all these content or the data in one folder, that is unorganized. So that is completely known as unstructured data set. Now, next is structured data. So in structured data, it is well organized and well formatted. Every property, every feature is extracted and well defined. Take an example. I have one folder that consists of nearly, let's suppose, 1,000 songs, and I calculated their feature, like what is a song ID, what is the language of the song, what is the genre, is it rock, jazz, pop, classical, anything, how many number of singers are there, 2, 3, or 1, how many likes and dislikes on YouTube, and I can extract several number of features in the same way. Okay, now, so this is known as well-defined format, structured data set. Okay, now in the next semi-structured data, somewhat it is very little information is provided. For example, let's suppose you have 1,000 movies and you stored all these movies in 3 folders, like 2 plus, sorry, 12 plus, 16 plus, and 18 plus. Okay, now you have 10,000 documents that are stored in 4 folders, like A, B, C, D. Let's suppose you want to store all the records of your students that are studying in year first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. 500 photos are well defined, are stored in 2 folders, like male and female. So very little information is provided, so that these are the example are considered as a semi-supervised learning. Sorry, semi-structured data. Now, as I already explained you what is the format that we required for the machine learning. So it consists of several input features and one target column that we need to predict. Okay, so that is the basic idea about it. Contains multiple columns and one column is defined as a target column. Okay, now what is the biggest issue, hurdle, problem in machine learning? Okay, the issue is availability of data. Right now, all the data is, most of the data in most of the domains are already extracted, and that are available in Kaggle, in UCI library, or Google is just recently launched one dataset search engine where you can find the datasets that are already extracted by different researchers. But let's suppose you want to extract your own dataset, then this is the very biggest issue and biggest challenge where we need to extract our own dataset. Okay, the solution is generating using modeling and simulations. Okay, so whenever we if we don't have the data set for my research, then we need to extract the feature through different simulations. Okay, now before moving forward, let me explain what is a simulation, what simulation is. So simulation is nothing but executing a real world problem in a control environment. Okay, so let's suppose this is a dam and I want to simulate now I want to break this dam. So in real life example, in real life, it is impossible. First, who is going to allow us to break the dam? No one. Okay, who is then? But in a simulation environment, we can break this dam, break this dam multiple times. Okay. So before moving forward, this is very important, how to determine the parameter for any object. Like suppose for a dam, height of a wall, width of a wall, water quantity, quality of the concrete used, water flow, number of gates, and many other parameter can be there. Okay, so let's suppose we want to make a simulation of breaking a dam, then we need to identify and we need to change these parameters, and we want to know what is the status, what is the stability of that dam. Next example is car crash. So let's suppose Tata claim that their new Tata Nexon is one of the safest car If a car can be hit by any angle or any direction, the person who is in the person who is sitting in the car, traveling in the car, must be safe. Okay. So now to prove this theory, how much simulation they can perform, how much car crash they can perform. Very limited amount. Let's suppose 2 or 3, because a car costs nearly 10 lakh rupees, 15 lakh rupees. Okay, so that is a costly environment. But in a simulation environment, they can perform the crash from the different speed, different angle, different height, any number of parameters they can change and then make the crash. Okay. Next, so in class 11th and 12th, I hope everybody make some chemical reactions, but we perform all the chemical reaction in a controlled environment, like room temperature and room pressure. But let's suppose I make you, okay, now you need to make this performance under -40°. So it is impossible. Or you need to make this this temperature at 120 degrees Celsius. We cannot make that. And also we cannot change the parameter from the room temperature because we don't have the facility. But if we make the simulation in a control environment, in a simulation, then we can change the temperature also, and we can change the pressure also. Okay. So now these are all are the examples where simulation can be applied. Now one more example. So this is one of the example of bulletproof jacket. Okay. Now in this example, a person is shooting to its bulletproof jacket. Now one bulletproof jacket is cost nearly 2 lakh rupees. Now, to check the validity of this bulletproof jacket, we can waste up to 2, 3, 4, or maximum up to 20, 30 jackets we can use for the experiment. But one bullet, one jacket, and we will never use that bullet jacket again. So it is a costly environment. But let's suppose we can simulate this environment. We can make the simulation in the control environment. Then we can hit this jacket with multiple times. And the ultimate objective is to record the effect. What is the effect of bullet on this jacket? Now parameter can be distance, size of the bullet, angle of the bullet. So multiple parameter can be changed, and we want to know what should be the quality of this bulletproof jacket, because our highest priority is to save the life of a person. Next, class, simulation modeling and simulation software are very, very important for machine learning point of view, because if you go to the Google and just write list of computer simulation software, it will redirect you to the wiki page. So let me just explore a wiki page for you. If you go for simulation list of software, and then it will redirect you to the wiki page. So you will find a long list of simulation software, like some are open source and free. Okay, so one of the packages known as Cantera. Okay, so if somebody want to work in a chemical or in a drug designing, and they want to know what is the or material designing, so they want to know what is the effect of temperature, pressure, or any other environmental condition and environmental effect on the rate of reaction, then Cantera package is very helpful for you. Similarly, there are a lot of simulation software, and like one of the modeling is NS2 and NS3 network simulator. Earlier NS2 is there, then NS3 is the latest one that will be used to simulate a network environment. So let's suppose you are setting up a network in a college or a company or in any available public space. Then before implementing, we can simulate how exactly my network will work. What is the highest which is the highest what is the bandwidth, what is the top what is the rate of data rate. Multiple parameter we can simulate without actual implementing. Okay. Similarly, there are a lot of simulation software. One of the software is known as OpenSim. OpenSim is just like you are saying, just this is a modeling simulation for exoskeleton. Let's suppose we want to perform an action for any human movement. So it is a system for biomechanical modeling. Okay, let's suppose we want to make an assistive device for our old age people, and we want to validate how much the performance our design tool can be give. So we can simulate on this OpenSim software. And I will explain you more about OpenSim in the coming slides. Similarly, Scilab is there. Similarly, SciPython is there. So there are multiple simulation software that are available for free and open source. Similarly, some proprietary softwares are also, like one of the proprietary software is known as AnyLogic. So AnyLogic and ANSYS. ANSYS is highly used by the mechanical students, chemical students, civil engineering students to simulate the bridge, simulate the multiple designs they can simulate in a control environment. Similarly, AnyLogic is one of the very good business and science development environment, and where we can perform the actual simulation. Let's suppose we want to use of would say supply chain management. We can easily simulate that particular condition in this environment. Okay. Similarly, one of the important tool is MATLAB is there. One more item is there. MATLAB is there. Mathematica is there. So these all are the proprietary softwares. So I'm just giving you the glimpse that there are, because right now our 90% research are only focuses on very few domains. Very few domains means image processing, video processing, audio processing, but there are n number of other domains are also available, like chemical, physics, where we can apply machine learning. Okay, so just explore these tools, you will get a different idea. And today I'm going to help you out how exactly we use these tools to generate the data set for machine learning. Okay. Next, so these are the other domains where we need to focus also. Let's suppose, because right now machine learning is just become a tool, it's just become a methodology. We have the data, we need to build a model, and finally we need to predict the best model. But how exactly we need to extract the data from different domain? Let's suppose somebody want to work in astronomy, no data is available, or very limited amount of data is available. Chemical kinetics is there, 2D physics simulator. Let's suppose you have an interest in physics, how exactly the material is work. Then you can just take the simulation software, generate the data set, and use the machine learning model. Scientific prototyping. Let's suppose you want to design a prototype and you want to validate how much worthful it is, or how much energy consumption is there, or any other parameter that you want to evaluate. Similarly, biomechanical is there, algebra, geometry, medical simulation is there, transportation and environment planning are there. So there are other domains are also apart from these core domain, medical image processing, sound, audio, video. So we can explore other domain also. Now, let me give you a very brief idea how exactly we need to apply and the simulation, how to exactly use the simulation to generate the data set. So class, very first important is to find out the simulation software library. It is available in Python, it may be available in R, it may be available in MATLAB, or it may be available in any of the available sources. Okay, so first install. Let's suppose I am just giving you the example of domain, dam. Okay, what is the strength of a dam? Okay, so let's suppose there are 5 parameters. Okay, 5 parameter can be width of the wall, height of the wall, concrete, quality of the concrete. Okay, so these are the similar property that we need to extract. And the most important thing, for every parameter we should know what is the lower limit and upper limit. Okay, so that is the most important thing. Then we should explore, we need to find out. Okay, so now after installing the package, let's suppose there is a function with the name sim that required 5 input parameters. It make the simulation and it will give you the strength of a dam. Okay, so now what exactly we need to do? After identifying the parameters, second step is identifying the parameter, lower bound and upper bound parameters. In the third step, generate a one set of parameters. Let's suppose I generated x1 to x5, pass to the simulation library. It will take some time, let's suppose 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and it return me the strength. So I note it down as 26. Similarly, I can take the random set again. Okay, but all the parameters are defined between these lower bounds and upper bound. Okay, and I got a strength is 27. Similarly, third, fourth, fifth. So I can simulate for, let's suppose, 1000 times. I just make a loop that run for 1000 times, and this type of data set is generated. So class, as you see, this is the regression data set. So 5 inputs are there, 1 target column is there. Just apply your regression models, find out the best model, and just get some results, and just you can publish the data set. But whenever I am working with this sim library, DAM library, I get to know that the strength, if strength is greater than equal to 25, my DAM is stable, otherwise unstable. So what I did here, I just assign one where the value is greater than or equal to 25, else 0. So this is become my data set of classification, binary classification. So I can produce 2 research papers. I hope everybody understand. Class, if you have any question, kindly write in the chat. Okay, because it is just I'm giving you how exactly I need to explore the simulation software, and also I will discuss how exactly we need to integrate. Okay, so I hope everybody get this idea. Kindly write in the chat, yaar, aisa mat karo. Yes, no. Okay, 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 Pooja, okay, Indra, thank you. Now, let's move forward. Next is Cantera. So Cantera is a chemical kinetic package that is useful for simulating your chemical reactions. Okay, so just I show you the Cantera. It is available with the Python also. So just install the Cantera and import it. So Cantera required 2 packages, let's suppose 2 parameters, temperature and pressure. And this is the chemical reaction we want to simulate. So this is just a hypothetical chemical reaction. So now we want to perform it under different temperature and pressure. Okay, now these are the 2 input parameter. Now output is what is the rate of reaction for this particular reaction. Okay, because whenever we are dealing with the drug designing, so doctor says you should take it with the cold water, you should take with the hot water, you should take it with the milk. Okay, hot milk, cold milk. So ultimate objective is that that drug should be dissolved in our body, and that must be observed by our intestines. Okay, so that it will be directly reached to the target point. So class, same thing. First install the library, find out the package. Okay, let's suppose this is the function, and we need to find out the rate of reaction. So class, there are two parameters. So by default temperature I consider as -40 and 40, but you can change also. And also pressure 10 to 15. So what I did here, I generate 2 random parameters between lower bound and upper bound for temperature, similarly for pressure, and I pass to the Cantera. Cantera takes some time and it return me the rate of reaction. Let's suppose 10. Similarly, another set of parameters pass to the Cantera again. So similarly, I can generate data up to 1000, 2000, 10,000 data sets. Okay, so this is the way, this is the important thing. Then you should keep in your mind whenever we are dealing with the simulation software. Now next is OpenSim. OpenSim, it is a biomechanical software that simulate the exoskeleton movement of a human body. Okay, now, so OpenSim is a wonderful tool that will simulate the different activity of a human body. Let's suppose walking, sitting, sit-ups, okay, movement of a shoulder, movement of a neck, okay, and movement of a head. So multiple movements can be simulated in this OpenSim library. So let's suppose our ultimate objective is to make an assistive device for my old age people. Okay, let's suppose my dadi, nani, okay, they are struggling in the walking. So I want to make some device just close to your thigh, just use on your thigh, and that device will help you in the movement. Okay, just walking. Now let's suppose OpenSim required 4 parameters. What is the age, height, weight, and at what speed we want to move the person. Okay, so age is defined between 10 and 80. Height is defined between 100 centimeter and 200 centimeter. Similarly, weight is defined between 40 and 120. and speed is defined between 2 or 3, 2, 3, 4, because we want to walk, only walk. Okay, so we limit our speed up to 4 kilometers per hour only. Okay, so now what exactly I need to do? We need to generate a random set of parameters, pass to the simulation software, and it will find out 4 forces. Okay, so let's suppose these 4 forces are required for the movement of a person. Okay, so that forces we need to apply, and we need to embed in a hardware that push our legs at these forces. Okay, similarly I generate another set of parameter, pass to the software, 4 output, 4 forces are there. Similarly we can simulate, and up to we can generate 1,000 or 10,000 data sets. Now class, in this example you will see there are 4 outcomes: force 1, force 2, force 3, force 4. So we need to create 4 machine learning models for every output. Okay, now for the same input, F1 is a target. For the same input, F2 is a target, F3, F4. So there are four models should be there. So let's suppose any new person will come that may or may not be present in this experimental data. We need to calculate 4 parameters, give to these 4 models. So every model will be able to predict what should be the force we should apply. Okay, so this is all about the very brief idea about how exactly we need to generate the data set for this experiment. Now I want to discuss one case study with you. Let's suppose we want to generate an audio classification. Okay, we want to identify what is the genre for the class for the audio. But before moving forward, I want to share an important resource with you: pypi.org. pypi.org. Let's just focus on this very important resource, pypi.org. So this is a repository for all the Python packages. Researchers, faculty, students, they work on their domain and they simulate and they make a Python package and they just donate it over here. Okay, so if you want to work in any domain, so I'm just requesting all of you kindly explore this repository at least once. Okay, because a lot of your work is already done or maybe implemented and available in the form of package here. Okay, so right now I'm just exploring one of the important is, let's suppose extract audio features. Okay, let's suppose we want to work in a audio classification in audio classification work, and you will find there are a lot of packages that is available. So let's suppose audio classification features. Okay, just click on, just copy it, and you can directly install. But before using this package, make sure at least some help should be available. Otherwise, you will not able to recognize what is the function is available, what is the manual is available, how exactly we need to load. So this is the one of the package that is already available. Now, I am discussing about one of the library is Librosa. So Librosa library is a Python module for audio and music processing. Okay. Now you want to know, okay, let's suppose a music is running and you want to know how many number of, what is the genre of that particular model, particular audio. Okay. Now, so Librosa library will help you to find out extract the features of any audio. Okay. So now moving forward to the presentation part. So our ultimate objective is to generate a data set for audio in which we need to classify the data is of which genre, what is the type of the genre. So class, there is a library, there is a data set with the name ZTZen audio that contains 696 audio files, and they are classified into 5 genres. Means this is a semi structured data. Okay, at least we have 5 folders, and every folder consists of some few audio files. Okay, but these folders are defined in 5 folders. Okay, and every folder consists of some audio files. So that is known as semi structured data. Okay, now we need to extract the feature for every audio file. Okay, So now there is a library with the name Librosa that I just discussed with you, and that extracted 193 features. And these 93 features are classified into 5 categories, like MFCC, so 40 features are there, Chroma 12 features are there, MEL 128 features are there, Contrast 7, similarly toners 6 features. Total 193 feature can be extracted if we give any audio file to Librosa. So class, what exactly I did? Pass every song to the Librosa library, create this feature table. Like suppose audio number 1, it will calculate 9 features and I label it as a pop. Similarly pop, similarly classical,